Hello, this is Frank the Welder at Acetylene Studios. Today we're going to talk about my Jeep project that's been going on forever. I'm going to show you around that, and I'm going to show you what I'm actually doing on it right now, or last weekend, as the case may be, getting it all ready to go. Here it is. This is a air conditioning compressor pump mount for a York 210 air compressor, and I'm adapting that component to my Cherokee to use as an air compressor. I've never tried this before, but the truck is equipped with rocker boxes that are sealed off and have pipe fittings, so it's possible I'll be able to use those for compressor tanks. We'll get into that right now and hit that like button. This is my 1984 Jeep Cherokee XJ 4-door with a manual 5-speed. It's got an inline 6-cylinder engine. I replaced most of the frame and lower sheet metal with steel plate and built a full roll cage in the back of it out of 1 5/8 by 0.125 wall through 0.155 wall steel DOM tubing. It's got a square tube cross member that goes directly below the frame from left to right. It's got a full exoskeleton with external hinge pins, and the drivetrain features a 14-bolt Chevy rear end with 3/4 ton brakes, disc brakes on the rear. Rear suspension is Clayton leaf springs with an anti-wrap bar and 4 inches of lift. Driveline is Tom Woods. The rear transfer case is Dana 300. The front transfer case is a NP 231, which is connected to the AX15 transmission. The front axle is a Ford 1989 Kingpin high pinion Dana 60 on a 3-link suspension. I have chromoly tie rod ends, solid tie rods, hydro assist steering, reinforced knuckles, and extra thick diff cover. The first step in this process is to figure out what the belt line is going to be and how the bracket exactly is going to be laid out. It took a few tries to get some straight edges and pieces of string with weights in there to get the pump lined up where I needed it to be, but it worked out just fine. I used some reference points on the core support to help align the pulleys. It's going to work out just fine. I need to clear the radiator shroud a little bit, but it's all going to fit. I can't see very well down in there, so I'm going to have to clear the top off of this Cherokee pump bracket so that I can see a little better. I've got some big fluorescent lights above, but it's just not lighting it up in there. I'm using a square to check to see what is out of square on it, and it seems like from this view the lower left bolt has different dimensions than the other 3. I'm using a pair of dividers to try to establish the bolt centers, hoping it's going to be a round number, either millimeters or inches, and it doesn't seem to be at this point. I'm going through the steps, but I'm not really getting any answers doing it this way, and I'm starting to think of other ways to work this out. I'm going to go ahead and make a template, and what I did was I took 3 8x125 bolts and cut them off, put them in a hand drill, and ground them on the belt sander till it came to a point. I'm going to use those as transfer punches by screwing them into the mounting bracket into the threads with the points facing up. I'm only going to do one of the 4 holes first, and I'm going to drill 1 hole in the template and slip it over a bolt, and then I'll have the template laying on top of the sharp points, you can see that I've got two holes drilled already in this example, and I have 2 tapered pins underneath the other 2 bolt holes, which I'm going to mark the positions kind of gently by whacking them with the hammer. So when I take the template off and turn it upside down, I'm going to have center punch marks for my bolt holes. I drilled the holes in the template and positioned it on top of the pump, and I'm making sure that the piece of sheet metal I have for a template is big enough to cover the entire base plate of the York 210 pump. I'm going to go ahead and fit the pulley on there one more time to check the belt alignment before I locate. I'm going to trace around the base plate of that thing and then use calipers to measure the diameter of the round bosses you can see that I have bolts threaded into at this point, and that's going to give me an idea of what my overall shape is. To reverse engineer the pump, I'm going to measure across the bolts in the furthest dimension possible outside the outside, then deduct the diameter of one of the bolts. This is going to give me a center to center dimension that I can use to lay out the template. I'm going to get my dimensions going both directions. I have to be careful which way I tip this pump or it'll leak oil. I'm confident that I have the right profile, so I'm going to go ahead and get the saw started with the piece of plate. I lay my template over the piece of plate and then mark it with the ink pen first. I'm going to try transfer punches to see how they work. I have a full set in diameters from 1/8 of an inch on up to 1/2 an inch, I think. They're really soft, so you got to be careful when you whack them. The sheet metal template was kind of thin. I didn't get my holes in the center of the circle, so I'm going to take a center punch and adjust those a little bit. I tilt the center punch over and whack it at an angle, and it kind of allows me to slide the center punch mark over a little bit towards the center that I'm looking for. I'm going to clean the grease and stuff off of this piece of cold rolled plate using a little WD-40 as a solvent. I'm ready to go ahead and drill it. I've got it drilled, and now I'm countersinking it. My countersinks are deep enough, so I'm going to go ahead and lay the plate out for the holes. Well, it looks like I've already got the plates laid out at this point for the arc pump. So it looks like the plate's about 1 inch extra wide. And I don't know if you noticed, but the holes are a little offset from the original bolt pattern. So none of the holes from the original pump line up with the base plate. You have to do it all by hand. I'm just lining up the straight edge with the factory edge of the plate. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the bandsaw because I've got something cutting in the 14-inch vertical, in the 14-inch horizontal bandsaw at this point. So I'm going to cut it in the 14-inch vertical. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up on the belt sander now. I have one more piece to make. It's the bracket that welds onto the top of my adapter plate and bolts into the 2 of the head bolts in the top. Actually, it looks, let me correct that, it's 2 holes in the base. Looks like the bolt holes line up, so I'm going to go ahead and round the corners of this and get it ready to weld on. Before I tightened those screws up, I slipped a piece of paper, folded over a couple times underneath that flange before I bolted it on. This way, when the plate shrinks a little bit, it'll still fit. I'm going to go ahead and tack it. Now this is ready to finish weld. Starting with a fusion weld on the back side, and then I'll weld it with filler on the end and front side.
Hi there. Oh, thank you.
You only want one, right? That doesn't look like vice.
You're gonna be a regular YouTube guy on the.
Oh, I am? Oh, did I just end up in it?
Yeah.
Got a coat of primer on there now after a quick sandblast. And now I finished it off with some silver hammer tone paint. I've already test fitted it and I know it works, so I'm going to go ahead and bolt it on. I'm going to go ahead and get the pump bolted on there. And I think that's about it. Well, I think I'm about done with this thing today. I think I got a lot done. I feel pretty good. I got the pump installed. The plate went in there just fine, and I had to tap out one of those holes and improve it a little bit. The fit that was there was not quite right, so I got that dialed in, and I think that's it for today. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.